member of the Assembly, I, Mike Gatto,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support and defend
the
Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
So thank you to Congressman Brad Sherman and the Autry. This is a wonderful place to have this wonderful ceremony, and I could not think of a greater honor than to have been sworn in by this man here, Congressman Brad Sherman. And while I am thanking people, I have to thank some people that I forgot on election night. So on election night, I thanked the Burbank Democratic Club, but I forgot to thank the Glendale Democratic Club. Glendale is a bigger city. It's a big mess up. I also forgot to thank my in-laws on election night. So please, a round of applause for presenting. And of course, I want to again thank my wife, Danielle. It was really neat to walk down the aisle with you again today. So the question I get asked most often is, what's it like? What's it like being an Assembly member? Well, as some of you may know, I am the second youngest current member of the entire legislature and the youngest Democrat. So if you're going to ask me what it's like, I'm afraid I might have to answer, I don't know yet. I still get mistaken for a staffer. I get asked to pass notes to other members. I also get asked, mostly by inquisitive lobbyists, oh, who do you work for? Now, at first I was a little offended by this, but I've now figured out how to use it to my advantage, keeping in mind that most of these people are lobbyists. So now when they ask me who I work for, I say, I work for that guy, Mike Gatto. You don't ever want to come talk to him because he's a real SOB. So my unfamiliarity has also resulted in some kind of awkward moments. The other day I was riding the members' elevator when a Republican Assemblyman walked in. Now, I vaguely recognized him as an Assembly member, but I didn't know who he was. So as is the custom in the elevator, he started ribbing me, telling some Democratic jokes, and I started ribbing him right back, telling some Republican jokes. And to my jokes, he said, well, you know, after November, you won't have me to kick around anymore. So I said, what are you turned out? He said, no, I'm not turned out. And I said, what, are you pulling a Danny Gilmore and quitting on us? And then he said, I am Danny Gilmore. True story. So in all seriousness, it has been wonderful so far. Aside from that moment. On election night, I posed the question, which you all answered in the affirmative, whether one Assembly member can make a difference. In my 3 weeks on the job, I have cast the deciding votes on bills to prevent people from abusing water rights, to keep social networking sites safe for teenagers, and to ban toxic chemicals from baby bottles. Yes, that last one made me most proud. So I have pledged myself and to you to be a lawmaker who approaches every issue with the 3 C's, and that's caring, creativity, and common sense. Speaking of this concept, the Assembly Democrats led by Speaker Perez and Assemblyman Bob Lewenfield have put support the budget proposal that meets the 3C test. It's a budget that returns revenue to local governments, preserves higher education funding, avoids teacher layoffs, and provides $1 billion to jumpstart private sector jobs. So I hope all of you will join me in urging my colleagues to support this budget. Now, the word budget in California has a way of reminding people of how our government works or does not work. During these times where the images of government's failures are burned so deep into our memories, we cannot tolerate or afford a legislature that fails to see the big picture. Looking ahead towards the next legislative year and my legislative career, I want to pursue the good government measures that our state desperately needs. The way our government taxes its people and the way our government spends our money should be a primary concern as we chalk up yet another year of late budgets and broken promises. We need to make sure that our state government, like any prudent worker, puts aside money when times are good so that we don't have to scramble so much when times are bad. We need to make sure that voters have information available right there in the ballot pamphlet so that when called upon to make a decision on any of the various propositions that come before us, that we know the full details of just how costly any measure can be. We need to make sure that our state does not rely on unstable revenue sources, or if it continues to choose to do so, is at least honest with the people about how precarious our funding is. So I will take up all these measures, if not next year, at some point during the 6.5 that I get, or that I hope I will get up there. And I realize that the odds might seem long, the hill might seem too tall, and the entrenchments too deep. But just a year ago, a young man began his campaign for the California State Assembly precisely because he believed in these good government principles. Many people told him that the race was unwinnable, that Silver Lake was not a big enough geographic base, that no one with a ballot designation attorney had won in 30-something years, that it was a very, very tough time to raise money, and that as an Italian American, he should find a district somewhere in New Jersey to run in. We proved those people wrong. The only thing I ask of you now, aside from this little election in November, is to continue to hold my feet to the fire. I urge you to continue to urge me to try to accomplish everything that they say cannot be done. So thank you very much. May God bless all of you, and may God bless this great state.